If you've ever felt like the third wheel, this podcast is for you.
If you love Wheel of Time, this podcast is for you.
If you're bored and have nothing better to do, this podcast is for you.
Join Rob,
Megan,
And Jen
in celebrating the Wheel of Time
and its statistically best fandom
and ridiculous gaming skills,
and probably a few cocktails.
and find out which one of them will be the third wheel this time.
This is
three-wheeling.
Hey!
Yay!
Hello, friends. I was trying to do
What?
Moira Rose in honor of Catherine
Oh.
O'Hara.
I was like, Jesus.
I
Wow,
didn't get it, but I appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
I
Yeah.
can't do Moira
Same.
Rose. I can't.
Hello. No, I can't do any of it.
Hello.
I can do the, are we going
Here's
to
my Sally.
Pamplona?
That's right. And here's my Sally in honor of Moira
Oh,
Rose.
Sally.
I have a lot of Catherine O'Hara around the room.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. The woman's an icon.
Not
so.
to bring us down, but I felt she's such an icon, we needed to mention her.
She is.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
We
If
should
I'd
celebrate
never
her.
seen her in anything else after Home Alone, she still would have been an icon. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because she's just so good. But yeah, all the
Mm-hmm.
other things she's done. And I'm discovering, as people are sharing stuff about
Mm-hmm.
Catherine, I'm like, oh, this looks like an interesting movie, or I should go and watch, you know, obviously I was going to watch the show that she's doing, the studio one.
Studio.
Yeah. Obviously I'm like going to watch that at some point, but I'm like, this looks like these old movies I need to check out that I did not know about. So
All the Christopher Guest, she is an absolute brilliant ensemble member of the Christopher Guest movies, like Waiting for
Best
Guffman
in
and all
Show,
of those. And
yeah. Mhm.
Best in Show. And I can never decide which is my favorite. It might actually be For Your my favorite Catherine is probably For Your Consideration.
Well, now what I'm hearing is at some point we need to do a Catherine segment where we watch a movie and just talk about it.
Yeah,
That would be fun, I
I
think.
would love that.
We'll put
I
that
would
on the
love
list
that.
of things to do. So yeah, how are you? It's been 3 weeks since we last recorded. How are you doing?
Mhm.
I've missed you too.
Yeah.
I've missed you too. I was late this morning because I didn't overdick it. I underdicked it.
Okay.
I under.
What's underdicking?
Well, I set my alarm for like plenty of time to get up, take a shower, make my coffee. I brought my computer up last night, so it was pretty much set up. But I was like, whatever. And I woke up before my alarm, and I was like, oh, I'm up and I'm wide awake. Good girl. I'll turn my alarm off so I don't wake up David with the alarm, and I'll just like sneak out of the bedroom. And then I woke up when my second alarm went off, which is my backup alarm, which is 15 minutes before we're supposed to record. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, you missed
So-
David bringing in coffee. He was being
Yes.
a
And
wonderful
David was
person.
like, David's so sweet. He's like, I'm like, I don't even have time to make coffee. And he was like, I'll get up and make you a latte. I was like, oh, honey, you don't have to. And he was like, I'll get up.
Aw,
And he did.
what a
And then he brought
sweet.
me a coffee.
Yeah.
My latte.
So
Mine was
I-
Leia wanted me to do her hair before her Girl Scout thing today, and then that took longer than anticipated. So
No, you were being responsible. I was sleeping my butt off.
I mean, I was on time, but I was later than I'd planned to be because I got engrossed watching a movie and didn't realize the time. So, but it's not even a good
Nice.
movie. Like, I randomly... So, I can't even remember what I was watching, but I was just, like, scrolling TikTok for some reason as well. You know, second screen life and all that sort of crap, you know. It's been a long January, both personally and just, like, the world, you know. So, I'm just, like, doom scrolling. And anyway, a clip about the guy who played Moose from the Step Up movies came up, and I was like, I never watched the later movies. Which ones is he in? Because if it's in like 5,
wait, the
I'm not
Step
going
Up movies with Channing Tatum and the
his wife,
his wife
not at the time. What is her name?
Jenna
I've got to take it.
Juwan. Yes.
Are you just
Jenna
throwing words
Juwan.
out? Is that actually her name?
No, I think it is.
Are you just making sounds?
Hang on,
Okay.
IMDb.
Okay, I was going to
Because
say.
I think it was
anyway.
Jenning Dewan Tatum, and then they got divorced.
Oh, are they divorced? Oh, I didn't
Oh,
realize
that might be right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a character. Have you seen the second one? Before I carry on with this, either of you?
No. I
No.
have
Okay.
not.
So
I don't
Channing
think
Mooney
so,
has like
no.
a.
And
like
yes,
basically a
I am
cameo
right.
in the
It
second
was
one.
Jenna Dewan.
Okay, congratulations.
Meg.
This is why you're our social sleuth, because you know this shit and we don't. Anyway, so he's only a cameo in the second movie, but there's this like young lad in the second movie who is Robert something the third is his actual name, but he goes by Moose, and he's very talented dancer, like very very talented. And I'd never watched the other movies, and it was talking about what he did after the movies finished, and it was like showing clips from. I know there's 5 movies. I know about that, which is wild to think that some things can't get made or get sequels and things like that.
Right.
But something stupid like that gets 5. There's like 7 Starship Trooper movies,
and a
for
million
example. It's
Hallmark.
ridiculous.
I mean, I love Hallmark movies, but same idea.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was like, oh, okay, so he's in the third one as well as the second one. I think he's in later ones, but I just saw that and I was like, oh, where can I watch it? And I'm like, oh, it's on Amazon. So I started watching it, and then I got engrossed. Luckily, hey, good shout for the adverts. They came on and made me look at the clock, and it was 15 minutes before we recorded. And I'm like, I need to get up and make a coffee and actually put on recordable clothes, so rather than sitting around in my pajamas. Yeah. So I wasn't, but I was. I did manage to make it on time, but I had like I didn't have kids, or I wasn't getting up first thing in the morning,
or sleep,
Yeah, I mean, I had cats wake me up this morning, but that's
Dreams.
That's standard issue. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
Well, shall we move on? No. Actually, I know we're going to get told off if we don't do this. Hey, Jen, do you know what time? Talking of time and getting up and things like that, do you know what time it is, Jen?
I don't know, Rob. What time is it?
Time to ask. What's
Meg
drinking? That felt really good.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys remember. So the first year we did the cocktail book, I had like the Aes Sedai series or like the Aja series where I did like a cocktail for every Aja. What did I do last year? Did I not do anything?
Maybe we were just bummed out because Amazon and Sony are dickheads.
Maybe I didn't do anything last year. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I did. Anyway, so this year I'm doing a Forsaken series.
Ooh.
So this is...
Oh, this thing's on fire, people. I'm sure you heard that, but this thing's on fire.
Yes.
Oh,
Aginor's Experiment.
Oh.
Ooh.
Okay. So I kind of cheated a little bit.
That would admit
So I was having a hard time. So I ChatGPT'd like just some ideas, and I ended up not using any of the like ingredients because I didn't have half of them, but it like kind of made me like think about it. So I did like a paloma, but it's like a paloma with a twist. So like I wanted to do like a funky liqueur. So I did this like herbal amaro. And then the smoke, obviously, and then the egg white as well also kind of makes it like look like an experiment because it gets all foamy when you add the soda. And then I also did something new. So there's this bartender influencer I follow called Bad Birdie. And we're going to go see her next time we're in California, although it's like an hour from your house, but we're going. Anyway, she puts saline drops in every single cocktail. So 2 saline drops in every cocktail. She says it like balances the flavors and everything. So anyway, I made some 20% saline solution, and then I use a little dropper, and then I put it in there, which I think it would go nicely with a paloma, because a lot of times you have salt on a paloma. So anyway. So the recipe is, so first you smoke your glass. So I smoked the glass first, but I just smoked it afterwards for dramatic effect. Thank you. And then in a shaker without ice, you're pouring 2 ounces of blanco tequila, 1/4 ounce of amaro, 1/2 ounce of lime juice, 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice, 2 drops of 20% saline solution, 1 ounce of egg white, dry shake till foamy. Then you add your ice and shake till cold. Then you remove the smoker from the glass, drain the cocktail into the glass, add the ice, then top with the soda until it goes up to the top. So
I love it. It does look like a little bit of a test tube there.
Yeah.
So then I decided to put it in a Tom Collins so it looks like a test tube.
Perfect.
Very good.
Perfect.
And
amazing.
now I think because of the inspiration of the saline solution, you should be tagging said influencing bartender.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I should.
Yeah, you should.
I have commented on a couple of her videos, and she's commented back and liked them, so I was very excited.
Nice. Oh, definitely Tiger.
Yes.
But, okay, and because so here's what's funny. So Kyle, my youngest, who is quite a great baker and chef, we just were gifted some fresh Meyer lemons off of someone's tree here. And Kyle said, we have to make lemonade, which I think we're going to do today.
Cool.
And he said, our friend Josh, Josh said to put just a pinch of salt in the lemonade. And I was like, huh? And Kyle was like, I was like, well, maybe we try it first on like one, like yours, not for the whole batch. And he was like, no, he was like, online, a lot of people say to add a little salt. It just like, he didn't say balances the flavors, but he said it just like, it gives it a little something.
Enhances everything. It's like MSG essentially.
Yeah. I mean, which is the same thing that salt does in food. So, okay. Yeah. I love it.
That's good.
LVF says, if you make it a little wrong, you can just call it a Murdrol. I love
hilarious.
that. Yeah,
that's hilarious. It sounds silly, but it's almost like you've just seasoned the lemonade, and it's ridiculous how much difference just seasoning, salt and pepper can make to food. So I'm not surprised that it can make the difference to drinks. Yeah. Like I once. You remember I was dating someone a long time ago. She wanted salads to go with we made like lasagna or something like that. She wanted salad. And we had salad items, but we had no salad dressing. So I was like, I figured something out. So I go in the fridge and we've got lemons and nothing else. So I was like, I'll just make a citrus dressing, So I squeezed, I think it was limes actually, sorry, not lemons. But anyway, regardless, I squeezed the juice over and then I seasoned the salad with salt and pepper. Not crazy amounts, just a little bit. Tossed it around and she was eating and she's like, this is incredible. What did you make? This tastes amazing. I'm like, oh, it's lime juice and salt and pepper. And she's like, what? I'm like,
super healthy then in that case.
Well, yeah, right? Ridiculously healthy. Yeah, ridiculously healthy. But I said to her, it was seasoning fixes so many things, And yes, absolutely applies to drinks. So salt in your lemonade, saline in your cocktails.
Exactly. I'll have to ask you how to make a saline solution. Maybe that's what we'll add to the lemonade. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe. There we go.
That sounds great.
So
amazing.
And then you could just do a drop at a time until you feel like, it's got the right balance or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the dropper makes it feel like a science experiment as well. So the Aginor.
I know, it was really fun.
Which in the olden days before I had my espresso machine with a steamer, which I love dearly, when I would just make a regular coffee, I make pour over coffee on a chemistry ring stand into an Erlenmeyer flask.
There we go. Why not?
Nerd.
It looks like chemistry.
Yeah.
It looks like chemistry.
I remember I remember the first time I saw the symbol for caffeine and I was like, that's super complex. It looks like, because it's like crazy things in different directions. Do
you have a picture of the formula or the molecule?
No, I don't. No, but I have the necklace. I think I got it at your house at Christmas. It's from Kyle, but I thought I got it at your house one year for Christmas. Maybe not. Maybe it was the year we were out here. But I'm like, where is that? I have a caffeine necklace.
That's very cool. So
and it's not in my jewelry box.
You're a lazy Rob ASMR. This is my last can of 2 scoops. So I've got to find something else for our next recording because it's not back in stock at work. I keep looking. So there we go.
Nice. I did something there was very nice ASMR. Is it good? I mean, it's good. You like it. I did something that Megan and Troy would probably disown me and say I'm not allowed to be in the family anymore. And it's something I've never done before. I do not do this. So I have had in my refrigerator, I have 2 bottles. I always have a couple cans of Nitro Guinness as just because you never know when you might just need a Guinness in this moment. So I had a couple. I always keep Guinness around and handy, and the Nitro specifically. And at the same time I bought those, or right around that time, I bought in the same size can. So I thought it was Nitro. The taller cans. Yeah. I bought something, I think it was at Trader Joe's, and it was like singles. You can buy single beers at Trader Joe's. And it was called Speculoos, which sounds like speculum, which should have just should have just been like, no thank you right there. But speculoos is cookie butter.
Yes.
Right? Like, isn't that what you can buy? So it's speculoos cookie butter. And unfortunately, I saw cookie and I went to like a cookie stout. And so I was sure it was a stout, speculoos cookie butter. I did not until after I tried it, realize that it said cookie butter ale, or not even ale. It wasn't an ale.
I honestly thought this was going to be like, I cracked it open. It was actually just cookie butter. That's right. No. That's where I thought that was going for a moment.
So it's been in my fridge for a couple of months, and that's not been the thing I wanted to drink. And the other day I was like, you know what? I feel like something, like nitro-y, smooth and kind of stout like, but I'm not going to open a Guinness. I'm going to try this cookie butter. So I crack it. It does not go shh. I'm like, oh, I don't think this is nitro. And then I pour it into the glass and it's like light
Flat.
pea color yellow. Yeah, it's like light yellow, which is also not what I was expecting. And I was like, well, okay, fine. I guess I'm having a Pilsner, whatever. Or maybe it's a pale ale. I don't know. And I took a sip of it and I spit it out in the sink. I don't think it was off. I just don't think it was me. And then I was like,
"This podcast is not brought to you by
I'm
Speculum
like this
cookie butter."
I'm sorry if you like this beer, Speculum beer, but it was.
I don't know. Speculum cookie butter sounds worse, actually.
It does, and then it does, and it does, right? Oh and then God. I had Megan in my head. And Megan and Troy in my head, being like, "You don't waste alcohol in this house," and I was like, "I gotta drink it. And I took another sip of it, and I was like, I can do this. And I was like, you know what? I fucking can't. And I don't fucking want it.
Good.
And it was a cheap Trader Joe's beer anyway. And I threw it out. I poured it out. And I poured myself a Guinness. And I was very happy. And I was kind of proud of myself that I just decided not to have to finish something that it was horrible.
To piggyback off of your story, this is version number 3. Version 1 and 2 were awful, yet I finished them.
Well, some people enjoy torture.
Branca, and it was really bad. And then I tried like a mezcal rinse in the glass to make it like smoky, and I hated it. But I finished those. So. And
I know.
Troy, oh my God, he kills me sometimes. So we had some grapefruit juice that one of our friends bought to one of our parties, and we've been trying to finish it because it's like this more organic one or whatever. So I'm putting it in there, and I'm just like, this doesn't taste like straight up grapefruit juice. Like something's off. He's like, oh yeah, I put some pineapple juice in it. I'm like, now I have to make this cocktail again with the proper thing because I don't know what the proper thing tastes like with this thing.
Amazing.
Well, my apologies to your sensibilities for throwing out an entire large can of beer.
I don't like beer, so I'm not. I'm not offended by that.
I mean, like, I'm all for not wasting things, but if it's absolutely awful, don't force yourself. The same with food. I hate food waste, but if it's done, if it's terrible, if something's like wickedly oversalted, for example, don't force yourself to eat it. Don't, same principle. So, yeah. All right, I have fun news to share.
Yay!
Ooh.
Yeah. So, we'll talk about the regular news first. Did you see new baby spear? Maya's baby is around. Mm-hmm. Yes, little Arlo. Ah, so cute, right?
So
and
cute.
She liked my comment. I was very excited when I said congratulations.
I know.
She liked my comment. Yeah.
I know.
So that's very cute. Yes, Maya had a baby. If you weren't aware, Maya is pregnant or was pregnant. Is no longer pregnant. She is
Maya, aka Chiad. So,
Chiad, yes.
In case, Mm-hmm.
And then while that was bobbing around, Bane decided to drop an album.
Yeah. So, very like metal in that like video. Mm-hmm. Like she's got like the spiky choker.
Did you not see it, Jen?
I did not.
All right, 1 second.
Oh my God.
Let me get this. All right, we'll share screen in a second. Can I? There we go. I've paused it. Share.
Oh wait, I just clicked on it on my phone because I was like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
You watching it?
Oh, I am. But you can show it on your screen because, oh my God.
For our friends.
Oh my God. I thought I was clicking on the baby, but I clicked on the video.
You clicked on the video.
That's
not a baby.
Amazing.
It's definitely not a baby. Yeah, here it is.
I was like, that is one damn awesome baby video. Mm-hmm. Like baby announcement video.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Sorry, me.
In the darkest of night, our stars align. Hold on tight and never release. Diamond hands our bonds will not cease.
It's like you say, it's like metal, but it's also like a little, I don't know, like EDM.
I know, it's like poppy metal. I don't know. Yeah, and not that I know anything about Icelandic culture, but It just screams Icelandic culture to me. I don't know why.
It feels like that. I love the message here. Diamond Hands, which is what the track's called. Diamond Hands ignites the dance floor with hard-style EDM intensity, melodic pop hooks, and metallic guitar drive, daring you to hold on for dear life. The debut release from Echo CVLT. I don't even know how you say that. Volt? Volt? I don't know. Must be an Icelandic word. Features a commanding vocal performance from Raga, History Channel's Vikings, wrong tag there, with Buzzsaw, who is from Derek Engelman of Sauer and Philip H.R. Anselmo and the Illegals. Okay. Yeah, it's out now.
You need to highlight LBF's comment. It's hilarious.
Using your neck to carry extra spears, brilliant. That is the comment that I'm going to put on that right there.
That's like color. Yep.
Using your neck to carry.
You must quote LBF though. Quote LBF on it though.
As my friend LBF says. As my friend, here we go, folks. Live typing. We all love the live action here. LBF said to this. Using your neck to carry extra spears. If I could type correctly, would help. Brilliant. Very ideal. I'll just add on the end there. Right, let's post it. So yeah, that was fun. It was an interesting day. Obviously, we've already spoken about Catherine O'Hara, which is super sad. But now she's inspired us to do a Catherine O'Hara segment now and again, movie every here and there.
Yes.
When we were talking yesterday on Discord, you're like, Catherine O'Hara's news. I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? Yeah.
You hadn't texted me yet, Megan, so I figured you hadn't heard because I heard early in the morning, and I was like, I'm like,
it felt like nobody knew.
I would just start crying if I was at school. So yeah.
I just opened up like a news app, and there it was, and I was like, what? And then it wasn't for hours before everyone started talking about it on social media. So I felt like it was really, really low key initially. But really bad.
Yeah.
I don't really think there was anything else major that's happened in the last few weeks since we last spoke. Is there anything else?
Well, I feel like there was something.
Well, it was.
I mean,
dream. Brandon getting his Apple TV deal.
I feel like that's a slightly deeper topic.
Wheel of Time.
Yeah, I feel like that we're going to have things to say on that, so maybe we'll leave that to the end of the segment. So I'm trying to scroll.
Maddie had a birthday.
Yes. Oh, her comment.
Utah, which, oh my God. So she's in Utah for the Sundance Festival. I didn't know one of my AP Stats students went. And if I would have known he went, I would have been like, dude, keep your eyeballs out for Maddie, my favorite person in the world. And we're going to be best friends. And yeah.
Yeah. I think she's back in LA. Actually, I'm not sure. I think she's back in LA. I saw a picture of something in LA, but it could have been over the last week. It was pictures that her fiance posted about her, like with her for her birthday, I think. Yes, and Sundance is over, so she may be back here. Right. Sundance is over. So, yeah.
But yeah, there was the
because flying out of it this way instead of going by other way of whatever, trying to fly directly from Australia to Sundance.
It's probably faster to go from LA than the East Coast, right?
Yeah, there would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because East Coast is basically like somewhere across the Atlantic is like the exact opposite of Australia, something stupid like that. So it's definitely closer to go through LA. So, and she did obviously, she was being interviewed by Collider, Perrier, Collider for
she did the interview and said, we still have more story to tell.
I know. That was sad. That was rough. So, and then speaking of people from the show going to things, thanks for not remembering that Bjorn Landberg is my guest at MalkieriCon this year.
I did remember that.
When did you say that though? When I was like, what else happened? And you were like, oh, nothing else. I don't think anything. So.
she thought you were gonna.
I thought it was like an opening for you to bring it up.
It was, but I was like, I was like, you're the one who always comments to me like, wow, did it get hot in here? And things of that nature. Whenever a Bjorn like voiceover happens or something.
He is so pretty.
In other news, there's a very toasty piece of information.
Yeah. Yeah, folks, if you're not aware already.
I'm not going.
I'm sad you're not coming too. But yeah, if you're not aware, Bjorn Lamberg, who plays Rock, will be our guest of honor, or guest of G, as
guest of G
as it is this year, at MalkieriCon in Prague in September 4th to 6th. You can get your tickets now, and you can come and hang out with all of us and Bjorn. And yeah, the man is a giant. So train your neck for looking up.
Give him a hug.
Yeah. He's a good hugger. I gotta say, I've very luckily bumped into him in Prague, and he's a good hugger. So, yeah. Never mind.
Just
yeah,
while I'm like daydreaming off, like thinking about Bjorn's arms around me.
Never mind.
Continue,
Rob,
I'll
where
be
did you go?
over
We lost
here.
you, Rob.
I don't know. Like, it's just you and me, Jen. Like, Meg seems to have disappeared. Is she frozen? Is she frozen? No, she just lost
I've got
in
us
her
to
daydream.
Talar and Riyadh while we're all here. I'm just dreaming about it. It's okay.
Oh my god. Do you want to talk about the Brandon Cosmere thing?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, we don't have to. We're not really big Brandon fans here on the
That
podcast.
sounded like a hard no from her.
That felt like a no.
No, I mean, no, I think it's, he signed like Apple TV.
Picked the wrong IP,
jumping
but
into
okay.
like, yeah, but like, jumping into like because the thing of it is, if they're setting something up with Brandon, like this is specifically Mistborn and Stormlight, but God knows they're like, cool. Basically, we have content for the rest of our existence.
Right.
The way he writes, yes.
If we continue to, make deals with Brandon, and
okay,
honestly,
and then
Brandon,
I had
think,
a question too.
Yes.
So when I read his statement about it, he said a theatrical release. He said theatrical for Mistborn. Which, does Apple TV do theatrical releases or just features?
No, they do. F1 was the Apple TV.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't sure if it was like theatrical being released in the theater, just a feature being on Apple TV. So
Apple TV is taking the Netflix path now of a limited release so that it's eligible for Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is kind
speaking
of a cop-out.
of, yeah, I mean, look, it's such a different, like in the first few years that Netflix was doing movies, people were like, we're spending money and have these amazing storytellers and amazing actors doing movies, but because it's only released on Netflix, we're not eligible for the Oscars. They'd be eligible for, Golden Globes or SAG Awards, but they weren't eligible for Oscars because Oscars has to be a theatrical release.
well,
So
why wouldn't, to be honest, for profit purposes, why wouldn't you give the opportunity to release it theatrically?
I feel like it was
Well,
probably
because
too risky initially.
Yeah, I think initially I think it was too risky, and it does cost a shit ton of money to put something out in the theaters in terms of marketing. Like, because you can put something in the theaters, and in fact,
but nothing's on film anymore. Everything's digital. So
yeah, but you still have to
book the space.
It has to be in a certain number of theaters. You have to actually you have to get the theaters to say we're going to put it in there. You have that costs a lot of money to have it take up one of their time slots and use that space for it, and so it still costs a lot. Plus there's no return unless you market it, so no one's going to go and buy a ticket, whereas you put it on streaming and people will find it, and their marketing can be just as much as a thumbnail at the top of their homepage. So people are going to find it, but if you put it out there theatrically, you've got to get butts in the seats to make it financially worth it, and so then you have to pay for marketing, and then you have to get more butts in the seats to make the marketing financially worth it. So it is complicated, and it does do a lot. But here's what's interesting. So F1 came out in the theaters last summer, I think, and it was a pretty limited run, and it was a big, Apple invested a shit ton in F1.
F1 was with Brad Pitt, right?
The Brad Pitt,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
okay.
and they developed a camera that they could use in the cars so that for the filming that they were also using in Formula One. So they partnered with Formula One, the organization that makes Formula One races, to create these cameras and then use these cameras in Formula One races as well as just for filming their movie. And they also piggybacked on whenever they had a race day, like if they had a race day at, let's just say, Monte Carlo, they would be like, cool, we get 10 minutes before the race starts where the crowd's in the stands and the track is set, and we race for 10 minutes and get our footage of our cars for our show, for our film, and then go away because you got to run the race. So like they partnered with Formula One and like had this really complicated way of making this movie. Formula One helped fund it. I mean, it was whatever.
It's good advertising for Formula One, really, isn't it? Let's be honest about that as well.
And it was. But the film kind of came and went. Like, I'm a race fan, and I didn't even see it in the theaters. No. Mom and Dad saw it, but I did not. I was like, damn, I meant to see it. And then I
have trauma reaction to car racing, just saying.
Yes, I know you do. It's a good movie.
Have you been in the bad car
Javier
crash?
Bardem is amazing.
No,
it's because my whole family's into racing. Me and Dad watch a lot of racing.
Literally is like, the TV is taken for hours to watch cars just go around in a circle, and it's just awful.
Formula One is.
I'm not sure I would call that trauma, but okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Rob. I think that is
trauma is a strong word for that. You're like, I have childhood frustrations about lack of access to a television. That's a valid statement.
Even
trauma.
Sure. Exactly, about racing and John Wayne, but Megan's trauma.
John Wayne and spanking.
I know. So yes. So anyway, long story short, and talking about for your consideration on FYCs, because we talk about that a lot, and about marketing. And Megan, this is just going to make you angry all over again. I have never seen a better FYC campaign work than Formula One. So came and went in the theaters in the summer. I don't know how their box office was in the beginning. I really don't. I mean, Apple spent a shit ton of money on this film because they
I remember seeing it advertised, I just didn't have time
but it kind of came and went. So they started doing an FYC campaign in the fall, and David and I went down to the Academy Museum, like the Oscars Museum, like they had the car out front. It was gorgeous. So also one of the producers in the film is cut this really long pause while I embarrassingly Lewis Hamilton, Jesus Christ, Jennifer, Lewis Hamilton, whom I love as a driver.
No, he's not famous at all. I don't even know who Lewis Hamilton is. Like,
I don't know.
You're kidding, right?
I am kidding.
Are you serious?
I am completely kidding.
Okay. Rob,
I don't know who you're talking about.
He's like one of the greatest race car drivers ever, and he's British. So of course I know.
Again,
he's
the
British
drama.
He's British and he's black, Meg, and like he broke all kinds of glass. No, the reason I'm saying it is that he broke all these glass ceilings because Formula One was a very white boy sport.
Absolutely.
And Lewis Hamilton came in and he was like, I have an earring, and they were like, they fined him like $50,000 for wearing an earring because it wasn't uniform code, and like he got tons of shit and like overcame all of that to like become literally one of the best and most famous drivers in Formula One history.
And he's actually matured into a really nice bloke as well, because he was a smidge arrogant in the early stages because he really dominated the lower leagues, and then he came up and was just like acted like he was Nigel Manson or something. and then but then he earned
Nigel Manson. What?
Mansell, sorry, I don't know why I said Manson. Nigel Mansell.
I don't know who that is either.
He's like another famous British race car driver. Anyway, he's like earned that level of stuff, and he's also become a really awesome person as well. So credit to him.
And they all do, they all do voices in Cars too, which is hilarious. But in any case, so Lewis Hamilton is one of the producers on the film as well, one of the EPs, and he has a small role in it. And he was at this talk. So David and I went to this talk at the Academy. The car is there. Lewis Hamilton is there. Brad Pitt is there. Like the kid who plays like Javier Bardem was not there. I know Javier Bardem would have been there. I would have died. Brad Pitt came and he was also like the humblest, nicest. Really impressed me on a personal level. I have to say, like I was like, oh, he came in and he came late and he was like, I am so sorry. And he was flying in from somewhere, so he came straight from the airport or something, and he like tried to just like sneak in to his seat, and we're all like, everybody's like, it's Brad Pitt, and then he just sat down and he was like, my apologies, I don't even want to make an excuse, and then he was really humble, and then he was like, it's these guys are the ones, like they did so much work and it was really cool. Anyway, it was one of my favorite talkbacks, not as much as the studio, but it was one of my favorite talkbacks, and afterwards, there was like a reception, and it was really, and I was like, wow, they went all out for this FYC thing. That was just the beginning. There were posters all over town. There were bus stops. There were and more of these screenings where they had the car and they had the things. And I was like, they are really pushing this film for the Oscars. And it got a bunch of Oscar nominations. It worked.
Yeah.
And honestly, I loved the film, but I was like, this was made for me and the 10 other people I know who love racing as much as me. Like, I don't think this is a film for like people who aren't as into racing. It's like, you really had to know the sport to get some of the nuance of the film.
Yeah.
And David really enjoyed it, but he was like, I don't know anything that much about, he knows a lot about racing. He worked on cars, but whatever. Anyway, I don't know that I would have thought it was such an Oscar contender, and I'm guaranteeing you that the reason it is because of how much they put into the FYC. That was a really long-ass story. I am so sorry.
There's nothing wrong with that story at all. I have two things. Firstly, Brad Pitt is also someone who I feel was really kind of like arrogant at one point, and has really just sort of like as he's aged and matured, has just gone like become a real like down-to-earth, humble person type vibe. Just obviously I don't know the man, but that's just kind of how it felt.
And he's just beautiful, but anyway.
The man's attractive. Yes, that's fair. And now I can't remember my second point.
I'm sorry.
No,
Brad
you're totally
Pitt's
fine.
beauty just blinded you.
No, it was more you distracted me with your Telerama moment. So I feel like they push the FYC so hard because they're like, we are not going to make a fortune back on this movie. It's a little niche. It's in partnership with a sport that, to be a part of, you need to be rich straight away. Even to actually go and to watch it religiously, you kind of have to have some money really if you want to not watch replays on TV, basically. So I feel like they always knew it was never going to smash the box office, no matter what they did. But but it's one of their earlier projects for theatrical releases and stuff like that. So I feel like they just said, well, let's go all in. It's not going to make a profit, but let's go all in and at least make it critically a smash in terms of like what everyone talks about it. So that next time we say we're going to make a movie, people take us seriously. I kind of feel like that was kind of their vibe.
It does make me sad because that's all Wheel of Time needed was proper promotion.
I mean, it's true. There's so many things out there that just like get swept under the carpet because they're not promoted well. I mean, I don't know why I ended up on some. I've been on Facebook recently for a couple of other things I do not like. I do not like and love the Facebook, but I ended up on a Wheel of Time site. Like so, it was like somebody showing Medali rings or something, and they were like, "Is anybody going to get these Medali?"
I saw that
rings. They were showing the. Yeah, and they were showing the like actual like the show rings, and then people were like bag on the show, bag on the show, like that's not the real ring. Blah blah blah.
I seriously want to cut people. God,
I know you do. I know. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm not trying to bring up your childhood trauma.
This is your reaction now. Your reaction right now is actual trauma, Megan. Okay, not the TV in your childhood. Okay, so.
But somebody's comment was the only reason they made these rings was so they could have merch to sell, and I was like, what fucking merch?
Yeah.
No, they made the rings because as a costumer, when you're looking at, and this, I know this isn't Sharon, this was like pre-Sharon, but like you need to see something on a screen. The intention of the show is to be watched on your television at home. You need to be able to see the ring when she flashes her hand up, and they're like, why would you give colors to them and accepted? They don't have an Aja yet. And I'm like, there's no color in the accepted rings. You didn't pay attention. But it was just like people were just bagging on it and they were like, they did it all for money grubbing merch. And I'm like, no, that is actually inaccurate.
I'm pretty sure there's like $138,000 worth of reasons why they definitely didn't give us merch, because we had that money to give to a global campaign. So
yes.
Yeah, that's frustrating. People think like that.
I know.
So
we can go back to the Sanderson conversation.
Yes.
I apologize.
No, you're totally fine. You're totally fine.
You railed us.
We've had some comments in chat. So, folks, if you ever want to hang out and actually watch with us, in chat today we have Knuckles Mustache, we have Light Blind Fool, we have Laura joining with us, and someone else who I'm not sure has commented. It says there's 4 people watching.
I think Mom is there. She's just lurking. Because she asked me if we were podcasting today. Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Well, hi, Mom. And they've been throwing it. You can watch and throw in comments in live chat. So Knuckles Mustache is like, I've enjoyed the Stormlight. Worried about, and I'm with him on this, okay? Worried about, why won't it scroll up? Worried about the whole Brandon thinking, because he has an unprecedented level of control. Okay, so he's like writing, the writing the screenplay. Then he has like sign off on like production stuff and final say and veto, and it's ridiculous what he's got. He's got more control than like J.K. had, fucker. But I worry that he's going to be like, I'm such a good writer of books, and he writes good books, but not always. I don't like Stormlight. If I'm honest, I know you like it. Meg,
I do
like
Stormlight.
Stormlight. I was like, I'd rather watch 50 hours of paint drying than even listen to the audiobooks. Like, anyway, are we stabbing? Just got
well, this is
It's Nightblood.
Yeah, it's
that's Nightblood. Oh.
Mm-hmm. It was from the Year of Sanderson that Jay bought, but
remember,
she's
I have
never
all the
read a Sanderson book.
I've read 3 of them.
Wait, sorry.
Which one did you read?
The Year of Sanderson.
Memory of Light.
Oh.
I read 3 of them. Memory of Light is one of them. Stars of Midnight and Gathering Storm.
Right, fair enough. The Year of Sanderson was such an expensive thing. Anyway,
we did it.
I just, it would have been like $2,000 for me or something stupid like that because of shipping or shipping. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So I
agree with the concern that he's been so vocal. Basically, someone described him as a book clerk the other day. I heard someone say like he's quite book clerkish. And I was just like, that's he's not actually
he's going to be book clerk about his, but he is about his
stuff. That's what I'm saying. I think with his own stuff, he's going to be a book clerk about it. How do you turn a book series? Okay, and I'm talking about Stormlight for the TV here. How do you turn a book into a season of television? Okay, even if you have, in fact, worse if you have like 10, 12, more episodes than that. But let's say you have, 8. How do you turn a book series where all the fun and action is the last tiny section of the book? How do you turn that into compelling television? Do you have 7 hours of boredom and and the 8th hour is fun? Like, because that's what the book is like. And he's so book cloaky as in like, you have to do this and this. This is my book and this is the story, blah. I don't know if he's going to be willing to move stuff around or make things more exciting for earlier on and such. I don't know.
He's also, I mean, look, I have been very vocal about what I thought were some very disparaging comments that he made about my industry. And it's not easy to write a screenplay, and it's not easy to take something that is like written to be read and turn it into something that is meant to be filmed and watched. It's not an easy process. And we've talked ad nauseum about this on the show. But here's the thing. I don't think I would, early on in David and I, because we do a lot of adapting, and we've adapted some books over the years. And one of the things we were told early on was like, oh, actually, we were told this by Jerry Jewell. Jerry Jewell wrote all the early Muppet movies, Muppet movies, and Muppet Christmas. He's brilliant. He was brilliant, and he was a mentor of David's, a screenwriting mentor of David's, in the early days of us, of our career. And he told David, he was like, the hardest thing to do is to adapt a book when the author is still living and has thoughts, because there is nothing that you can do to satisfy them. There's nothing. They will always have but you didn't put the most important thing to me in. And the thing about Sanderson is that the one thing he has going for him in terms of him being the one to adapt these is that he knows his fandom well. Mm-hmm. And so he knows what things are most important, and his fandom are a little bit cultish, may I say?
Yeah, no, that's totally accurate.
And I'm
accurate.
including us. Obviously, I'm like, look, I have a Year of Sanderson and I don't even fucking read his books. Okay, so obviously, I'm somewhat into that cult.
I mean, I don't think I ever quite got into the cult status. I blame Wheel of Time for that. Yeah. Thank you, Wheel of Time.
Yes.
And then
I would say Troy's a little more cultish about Sanderson than I am. For sure.
Well, I know.
I think the requirement for entry was liking the Stormlight and getting through the 5 books. So I think I just got checked at the door, and I'm kind of grateful for that, if I'm honest. So
I think I'm probably quite checked at the door. People are like, "You're not allowed in. You haven't read anything."
But, and you need the bank balance in order to buy fucking everything.
And we also know that there are a number of people in the Sanderson cult who were the ones who were the book clerks who hated the series and who like jumped on to his bandwagon of they didn't do what I wanted. But it's so I think that I think he's going to have the benefit of his fandom is going to buy in and say they love it, and even if he makes
and
changes,
trust him implicitly.
Because they're going to say, if it's fine, he can make the changes. It's his story. And there's some validity to that and some value to that. You know, like if he decides to update something and make it more cinematic and more interesting, people will be like, fine. You know, that's like J.K. coming in to write the newer Harry Potter stuff, which I believe she's doing. She didn't write the original screenplays, but, you know, Steve Clovis did. And, you know, it is hard. It is hard to adapt your own work because you're too close to it. Sanderson he's also used to a level of control though in his own world. He's created his own Cosmere universe of like of his brand and identity. So Apple was like, look, unless they gave him that level of control, it was never going to work. They were never going to find a screenwriter that he would trust with any of it. They were never going to find somebody to like build that world out in a cinematic way. And he would be so heavy-handed in making adjustments and suggestions and saying everything has to go through him for final say that there was probably no way that he was going to be able to like actually get anything made unless he's the one making it. Oh my God, we have a cat.
Yeah. Sulan is fussing around my feet. She doesn't like to be picked up when I'm sitting at the desk, but she will nuzzle a bit when I get her. So that's why I was fussing. For anyone who is watching, that's why I was fussing around. But,
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
I have to make her get up. She wants the attention, but I have to make her get up for it. So, and then she'll jump off in a bit. But no, I agree with what you're saying there.
I don't see any other way to do it. I don't know. I mean, is he going to be a good screenwriter? I mean, he's a very smart guy who writes a lot. He's so prolific at writing that honestly, like he could probably write 7 screenplays between now and the time he writes the first one or starts writing the first one to like get all of his practice books out of the way, his practice screenplays out of the way. Like, I'm sure he'll pick up the craft. It's a craft. It's a craft. I'm not suggesting that like people can't learn it, or that he wouldn't be good at it. I mean, it is very different than writing a novel. It's very different than what he does. But it doesn't mean he won't be very good at it and adept at it. My bigger concern is that it is a very collaborative medium. And yes, you need somebody at the top to be making the decisions, who has the overarching story and aesthetic and show running idea ahead of it. I don't know that Brandon is a showrunner. You can't showrun without being heavily involved in the day-to-day. There's no time to go write a novel if you're show running. And I don't know if he's going to run the show. I'm worried that he's going to run his showrunners right out the door because they aren't maybe doing what he wants. If he's going to be acting as a showrunner, it's really hard to be a showrunner when someone who's an EP who has final creative say on something needs to see everything that you have to approve. Because showrunners are like, yes, making this call and that call and this call and that call. And you're like, okay, I got to make a decision. I have to move on. He doesn't have the time to lay it to be that involved, but he wants to be that involved. It's a collaborative process. And showrunner / or like talking director of the film. But, it's just it's going to be tricky. Yeah. It's going to be tricky. And I hope that people don't get eaten up and chewed up and spit out.
I've heard him. I've seen he's done short videos about the artwork that he has in his books, and he was very nice about it at the time, And I there's nothing to say that it was ever a horrible discussion between the two, but I remember him saying how difficult it was to get the right art for one of his books from this artist, and it's an artist who's done other work for him, And I think they went through 5 or 6 proofs or something like that to get the right artwork because he's it wasn't what I saw, so it had to be right. It had to keep being redone. And eventually we got what I wanted. And I was just like, oof, yeah. It's and I just, LBF. I'm sensing that Jen isn't as enthusiastic about working on Cosmere as she would have been with Wheel of Time. That's it. I can see Brandon having fights with EPs, fights with directors, because they all want to change shit.
Or collaborative screenwriters, yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's top EP. There has to be somebody making the final call, and he is top EP. And I have worked with EPs who are like, oh, I want to make a decision and not let you do your job. And it's really hard.
But I mean, it's funny, surely in my view, a good director is going to be I think she should do it this way and push back. And that's what I mean by fighting. And then Brandon's going to be no, I'm the one who has to say, do it this way. And then the director's going to go, what's the point in having a fucking director then? You know, like...
Yeah, and a good showrunner will be like, here's what I think is going to serve us in the long run, or like, here's things you might not be considering because you are not familiar with the way that this is done. And like, it's a really fine line of being like, I think it's always good to have a fresh perspective and someone who's not steeped in the way we've always done it. I think that's fine. Mm-hmm. It's funny, LBF, because I was like, a couple days ago, I was like, well, I should, maybe I should like look into this. And they already have showrunners set up because Mistborn is going to be the feature, is going to be the films, and Stormlight is the show. And I was like, well, first of all, I should fucking read Stormlight. So I can't really even pitch myself until I read it. But they already have a showrunner. They already have showrunners in place. And I was like, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of heartache. It might not be, because you may end up having showrunners who are like, okay, fine, we're here to just like absolutely see your vision. Which is what I would be doing. You're going to pay me a big wage
to do half of my job. Sweet, fine, no problem.
Yeah, in a way, it's just that I think the frustration is going to come from people being handcuffed or being like hogtied and not able to actually move forward and make a decision. We have a deadline. We have to get this to special VFX by tomorrow morning. We have to get this into animation right now. We have to like make a decision, and it's a 24/7 job for a showrunner. You're making decisions like this. Is Brandon going to be available to them if they cannot move forward on any decision? Because he'll say, you didn't run this by me. Okay, wait, this is let me go back to Babylon 5 for a second.
Sure.
Rob, I know you're listening to Babylon.
Do you know what? I stopped after episode 20 because then I got encouraged to actually watch it, and I'm going to, I've like held back so I don't get spoiled so I can do reactions. It's a very long, it's on the long list of things I need to get my ass into gear for.
That is so fine. Take your time. But, and I can't remember if this was an episode in season 1 or season 2, but there's an episode where, no, it's in season 2. Flames spurting. There's like something happens on the bridge and like something blows up and there's literal giant flames behind the actors. And we were all like, holy shit. And also this is space. I'm not sure. We were all like taken by it. And JMS actually at the time went on the record and said, yeah, I told the director who directs a ton for him. It's Joe Johnston, I think. Not Joe Johnston. Sorry. Wrong director, but Jim Johnston. And he said, or Jim Johnson. And he said, yeah, I told Jim I didn't want flames. Anything's fine, just not like big, massive flames. And then I wasn't on set that day. And he fucking threw his director under the bus.
Wow.
About it. And I'm like, that's the kind of thing Brandon's going to do, is be like, yeah, I was in a meeting or writing a book or signing something or whatever, and I didn't get to see this one thing. And I told him not to do it.
There's a comment in chat from LBF.
I tried, guys. I tried.
Yeah,
I tried,
exactly.
guys.
There's
I tried.
a comment from LBF in chat. Mm-hmm. If it's not successful, Brandon might try and throw them under the bus and say they didn't do what he told them. You know, and if JMS, who is a, incredibly talented showrunner and writer and all that, he's a hugely successful career. Like, if he is going to throw someone under the bus and he's in the industry, I can definitely see Brandon, who's so arrogant about his own stuff, that he would do that. Yeah, I can see that.
And, I'm such a fan of JMS, and I'm a fan of Brandon on, like, a whole other level.
I admire his talent. And the prolific, what he's built. I admire that. I don't like the guy, but
absolutely.
I admire it. So.
But I get the same vibes from them a little bit, which is like, this is the thing I created, and I want to see it through the way I expect to see it through. And I respect that too. It's just that it is a collaborative medium, and to get shit done, you have to give up some control and let people do their jobs to the best of their ability and let them make decisions and choices and live with it. And I don't think that it's fair to then throw them under the bus and say, well, it wouldn't have been like that if I hadn't done it the way that Brandon did when he was on the thing.
The guy stays up till 2 a.m. and sleeps till like midday or some shit. So, how
he's
is
he going to miss a lot of emails?
Yeah, he's going to miss a lot of emails,
Yeah.
Meg, what do you think? You like Stormlight? I don't know whether you like Brandon or not, but what do you think about this?
I do like Stormlight. And he is a very talented book author, I would say. I do worry that his success that he's had with like building his brand with like the books and his own convention and all of that might give him this false sense of security when he's writing a screenplay. And may not be willing to, again, like it's kind of as Jen said, like listen to those that have been in the business or whatever, and And he might be appealing more to his fan base than trying to appeal to the mainstream, which would not make it as successful. You know?
No, but maybe that's enough for Apple.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, Apple's not investing in this if they don't think they can bring in a new audience and find an audience as well. But also, the other thing that they have going for them with him is like marketing. He's a fucking amazing marketing guy. Mm-hmm. He's fucking amazing at it. Like, look, I bought a fucking sword that I don't even know what it is. I mean,
yeah,
obviously he's doing something right.
He can mobilize his fan base to be like, go talk about this, go post this out for me, please, people, and they fucking
he can,
will.
and just he's got. I mean, here's the thing that Hollywood's investing in right now is like big YouTube content creators who have like gazillion subs and TikTokers and things like that.
Yeah,
Brandon has a large audience, so even if he didn't have a body of work, the level he has a body of work, he could come in as his own fucking brand and be like, I've got a lot of followers. And they'd be like, okay, do you want to make a show about putting on makeup? Like whatever. Like they're like, bonus, you have content. You actually have like a lot of content.
Yeah, that is how like some actors and things get picked. It's like, well, I'm not putting anyone in this film if they don't have 10 million Instagram followers.
Yeah. So, in that sense, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I just hope he doesn't break people on the way. And because he's going to ultimately, at the end of the day, he's built it into his contract to have the say that he wants and to get what he wants. And so I hope that
got the line from the article. Sanderson will be the architect of the universe. He will write, produce, and consult, and have the approvals of everything. I'm like,
also,
that's when you say that. Now. You killed
me. I know. But when you say that's an unprecedented thing, it kind of is. I imagine that the precedent for that is not in authors, because there's very few authors who have the following that he does. I would argue that precedent has been set with either TikTokers or people who are very brand forward, that they were like, I have to have full say of everything about the brand of me because I am my brand, or whatever it is. So I think like in celebrities or personalities rather, I think that level of control has been in there. It's just usually about the person, not the body of work.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to save that line though, and if it doesn't do well, because I think if I'm going to go on the record here and make a prediction, I think the movies will do okay. I think the Mistborn series will lend itself well to movies, be that live action or animation, and I think it will be successful. Not
then
like
you only have that last half hour that is the Sanderlanche.
Yeah, but even with that, like, in a movie format, it's, 2/3 of the movie is build up, 1/3 is action, like, that works. In my conservative television show, like, that's, like, episode 8 out of 8, like, that's, but I don't think they'll be world-changing movies, but they'll be successful, and I'm sure they'll be, like, reasonably okay to watch and such, for people that are obsessed with the books. But I don't think the television show will, I think it'll be like the Rings of Power. Initially everyone's like, go watch it. And then everyone's like, this is actually not actually that good. Because Rings of Power is boring as fuck.
Boring.
But we have Andor as an example. Now, Andor does a great thing of giving us, so Andor has,
you're right.
It's a slow burn, but it has peaks in the middle, and like essentially stories that almost finish up along the way. So like you have in first season you have the attack in Ferrix mid-season, and then and then we go back, and then he's on the ship. Like, so there are things that happen like along the way to keep us to have enough oomph to get us going. But there are slow burn episodes where it's like world building and character building, and not a lot happens. So if he follows the Andor model and can pepper something in to at least like get us over that hump in the middle, to like get to the Sanderlanche, then maybe that will really work, because we have precedent for a show that did pretty well but did not actually get nominated the way it should have.
Andor really lays, I haven't watched the second season, but it really lays into like the gritty, dramatic, heavy resistance vibes. Yeah. And I just don't see Stormlight being, like it has things you could pepper in there. So like from the first one, Kaladin, having his moment surviving the storm, for example, that is like, what is that, like 2/3 of the way through the book, halfway through the book, something like that. That could absolutely be a dramatic moment in an episode. Absolutely.
I would say more than halfway for sure.
Yeah, there we go. So like 60, 70% of the way through the book, something like that. And I'm sure there are other things that could fit in there, like you could like make slightly more dramatic in that. But the whole tone of Stormlight doesn't have, you can deal with world building in slow episodes when it's really giving you like some gravitas to the episode. When there's something like, okay, this is a slow episode. This is not an action episode. This is giving me, world building. This is giving me character. This is giving me beautiful, stunning performances, and a really gritty story that just isn't, 1,000 beats per second. Stormlight doesn't feel like that to me. Stormlight is a fucking boring old storyteller just telling a story. And then suddenly it's like, shit, I got to wrap this up in the last 50 pages, like it's kind of what it feels like to me,
Which to me says it needs a lot of adaptation, and I'm just worried
Brandon doesn't want to do that.
With that.
Yeah. But if it's Brandon doing it, and he's a smart guy, and maybe he will be like, well, here or where it's not cinematic, and I need to like move something around or change something. I mean, like I said, he has, for the most part, and it's interesting because LBF just said that there's a growing segment of his fandom that has some criticism of the fifth book, but his fans are pretty much in. And if he says there's a reason why I did this, they're all going to go, oh yeah, okay, I get it. Like,
and then there are a bunch of fucking hypocrites, including Brandon, because all they did was bitch. They changed the story of Wheel of Time, and I'm like, If it turns out that they have to change Stormlight to make it cinematic on television, they're all fucking idiots. Not for doing that, but because they bitched about that for Wheel of Time. And I'm like,
I know.
I'll go find their fucking comment sections. You just paste it back to them and be like, get over, stop being a hypocrite.
When I adapted something early in my career, no, you're right. The author said to David and I, he said, just keep true to the spirit and tone of my book, which I thought was such a gift and such an amazing gift. And he was like, you can change story points. It's not going to be cinematic if it, whatever. And just stay true to the spirit and tone, which I loved. And I thought was like, it's rare to have an author say that. But I just want to you guys know how I feel. I want to go back and point out one thing about the thing that I poke at the most about Brandon. The thing when I like tipped over the edge and got very, very upset and angry with him. It's based on his childhood trauma, Meg. No, it's not his childhood trauma. It's based on a traumatic moment.
Someone took away his television.
No, when he had an early adaptation. Remember, and he talked about this. He was like, someone took one of my stories. They did something with it. In the end, all it was like my characters' names, and they just gave them their own world and like whatever they wanted to see on screen. And I understand how frustrating that can be. He can be like, this is so not my story. Like, this is like, I didn't know you were going to change it and turn it into something completely different, which I do not think we did with Wheel of Time.
No, I totally agree with that, yeah.
But I think he was like, you changed so much of it. It doesn't even feel or look like it anymore to me. Like, this is not my story. You just wanted. And so that's really frustrating as an author. I can understand him being like, but this isn't what I signed up for. And he did. He signed a contract that was like, go give us a creative control. And they had it. So I understand why he's making this grab and saying, I don't trust that. But he has a sample size of fucking 1.
Mm-hmm.
And his response to that, instead of like, that was just a bad pairing, and I said okay to a team that didn't get me and didn't give me some say or whatever, instead of saying this is a one-off and I just need to find the right people to collaborate with, he blanket statemented to say screenwriters are not world builders, cannot create their own universes, and need to just steal somebody else's universe in order to tell the story they want to tell.
Yeah.
And that statement is what fucking sent me over the edge, because I'm like, that is bullshit, and it is disrespectful of what we are doing as creators over here. Maybe it's in a different medium. Maybe we aren't writing a novel first, but we are still world building. Sometimes that happens. And a lot of the time it doesn't. And I felt like, and so now he's like, screenwriters suck, so I'm going to do it myself. Yeah. And that's, I'm like, come on, you have a sample size of 1. Whatever. That's what I'm just saying. Like, I appreciate why he's doing it and why he feels that way, but I also think that it's really short-sighted, and he should probably consider that maybe that was a bad experience.
I agree. It definitely felt like he's saying, screenwriters are just failed storytellers, authors, and they just want to steal someone else's IP so they can write their own stories that they are incapable of writing properly themselves. That's definitely how it felt to me.
And LBF's right. It's sure, you can call that a version of fan fiction, but also I don't think that Brandon Sanderson would be as, I mean, I know he doesn't like fan fiction, but he's also like made a statement of like, it happens, and so whatever, I kind of like can't control that.
It feels like, now that it just occurred to me right now how we're talking about this, it feels like he's very insecure about his writing. Yeah, he's insecure about being a writer, and fan fiction steals away from it. Like, it's like this is the pure thing, and it's like it can't be anything else. Like, what are people like? They get like that. Like, oh god, people do that about like sports sometimes. It's like, well, it's not the NFL, so it can't be real. It's like different league of rugby. Right. It's a different, it's not. Right. It's sparkling wine. It's not champagne. That's kind of, that's
French.
Well, that's based on region. So
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like Brandon's like, you're not a writer unless you write novels that are hugely successful.
Yeah.
Screenwriters just fan fiction, right? And if you write fan fiction, you're a failed writer and things like that. If you don't, if you're not, if an author is not your job, you are a failed writer. Stop trying to make it up as something else. That's kind of like how it feels like that's how we views it. So
yeah, and that to me is just like, that's just diminishing other people for what they do, and I don't think that that's a healthy place.
Oh my God,
you know what? If they call me tomorrow and say, "Do you want to fucking write on Stormlight?" I'd be like, "Sure." I mean, what? I'm like a fucking hypocrite too.
No, because what you would do is you would turn up and be like, Brandon, I'll make whatever you want me to make, and I will take your big paycheck for half the work, because I don't have to be creative about shit. What do you want? Fine, I'll fucking do that.
I mean, the
and I will
truth
take
of
your
it
money,
is,
thank you, sir.
And as a showrunner, if you're like, fine, I will happily sign up to just like do this the way you want me to do it. That there's also nothing wrong with that. There's showrunning from a like I want to build the world place, and there's showrunning from an I want to get the job done place, and there's like both are true, and I have done them both simultaneously on the same show. Yeah. I mean, it is a balance.
I've worked my ass off to do extras for people where I'm like, I give a shit about this project or whatever it is, and then there are other times where I've done events and I'm like, turn up, do exactly what they want me to do, take the paycheck, go home. There's nothing wrong with that. So so if they called you tomorrow and be like, hey Jen, we hear you're critical, do you want to come be on Stormlight? You'd be like, yeah, take the paycheck. Why not?
I mean, of course. And maybe he's a wonderful person to work with, because we personally know people who personally work with him.
This is true.
And love him. And so, sometimes they say you can't be friends with your friends' friends. Like, it's just like one step removed is like, you might not be friends with your friends' friends, but maybe we would be.
Yeah, like in that circle, like everyone gets along, but you take out that one key figure that links you to that other person, and suddenly no one gets along. Yeah, definitely could see that being a thing.
Yeah. And maybe he just needs the right screenwriter to show him that not all screenwriters are ripoffs. Yeah. Ripoff hacks, Like maybe he just needs to meet the right screenwriter who's like, no, I have my own ideas. I can still actually like translate yours and see your vision through, but I do have my own vision for other things, and maybe he just needs to meet the right person. Yeah. So if you're listening, I will be very happy to write on Stormlight.
I mean, I'm
pretty sure I just talked myself out of a job.
No, because we're still, give it 5 years and Apple will realize what they've done and go, oh shit, we should have gone Wheel of Time instead.
Jen, I feel like you do need to read Stormlight now, because I'd be interested to just hear what you think.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see. I mean, I probably will I've wanted to forever, and it's like sitting on my shelf and haven't gotten. Actually, that's not true. Mistborn is sitting on my shelf and I haven't read that yet, but
Mistborn is great.
Stormlight has been
really like Mistborn.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I own several Sanderson books. It's not like I haven't been supporting him.
Wow. The sword keeps
Year of
out.
Sanderson.
That's not at all how I envision Nightblood, by the way. And Warbreaker is my favorite Sanderson book. So, which is not a common thing for most people. They like people like Sanderson. They're not like Warbreakers.
And how far have you read into Stormlight?
I got through the fourth book thanks to Michael and Kate, because I think I got about a third of the way in or less. I was like, I can't. So
you know Nightblood's made an appearance in Stormlight, then, right?
Yes, I heard about that. Okay. I think that might have been a point, because at some point when I switched to the audiobook, then I could listen without actually listening, if that makes sense. But I've read, I'm doing, for people just listening, I'm doing air quotes. Then I've read the book, Because like maybe I'll listen to it and I'll pick up enough and get to the end and be like, actually that was cool. I'll actually read it, and then I, might be, no. And it got to the end, I was like, I am definitely not fucking getting the 5th book. That's a waste. I've just wasted time. I've wasted my life. This is It's not often I get a book and I'm just like, that was fucking terrible. But yeah, Stormlight 4 was fucking terrible. And then everyone, and then a lot of people ripped into a lot of people ripped into the 5th book, and I was just like, okay, now looking back at it right now, it's the same way I felt about Rings of Power. I got to the end of the Rings of Power, I've just wasted 8 hours,
and I have to see everything through.
No,
so
I don't know what it was. Maybe I turned 40 and thought, fuck it. But now I'm just like, if I don't finish that, who cares? Like that does not need to be finished. I do not need to waste my time on that. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
So do you know what? Weirdly, I like Blind Falls Company likes 4 more than 1, but I like book 1. I don't know. There's something. It's an epic story, setting everything up. I can deal with that in the first book. That's fine. It drags a bit, but whatever. But when it's dragging just as much in the 4th book or more, in my opinion, no, thank you. And then people are like, the 5th one is like mixed reviews. I was like, why would I go to the next book that I've struggled with book 4? Why would I then go to the next book where it's getting mixed reviews as opposed to this one that got rave reviews? Like,
I did enjoy the 5th book. I'll say that.
Okay,
but I'm a golden retriever,
wait for the TV show.
And I feel like I like a lot of things, so I may not be the best judge.
And there's nothing wrong.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being I don't mean this in a bad way, but being an easier fan. Like,
I agree.
Because, I think in some ways being willing to forgive certain, I mean, I'm struggling with this right now. I'm in the struggle bus about Starfleet Academy. I don't know if I like it or
I haven't watched it yet, so don't say anything, but yeah.
I won't say anything. And then, but like, we know I hated Agatha in the first 4 episodes, and then I went back and watched a bunch of stuff, and now I'm obsessed.
Still not
and think
watched
it's the best show ever.
Still need to
I love
watch
it.
that.
So, there's nothing wrong with actually just being a little bit less of an asshole right off the bat, Meg, and just being like, I'm going to just sit here and enjoy
honestly,
this.
Yeah, I'm like that too. I have a what's this bloody thing called? What's the thing where you rate movies? Letterboxd. I have a Letterboxd app, which I was really good for using back in like 2023, and then I stopped. So I was like, no, I actually every time I sit and watch a movie, I need to immediately then rate it afterwards. So I've started to do it properly this year. But the vast majority of my movies, and I have done, how many movies have I rated? Let me see. It doesn't tell me. Why is it not telling me? Oh, so I've done 85 films. Okay, I've rated 85 films on this profile, and by stretch and afar, it all pings in the higher bracket, in the higher 4s and 5s, but by way and above, my average is a 4-star rating. So
it's great.
But
yeah. Then that's good. That's
so
good.
I'm definitely like that.
Also,
too,
know what you like. You're watching things that you're going to like.
Oh no, I definitely watch things where I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm not going to like this or not. So
good.
Yeah. What's my favorite one? So I watched Cocaine Bear. That got a 1.5 stars.
Oh.
And
all of that 1.5 was Ayula, right?
Yeah.
Let me actually read my review here. Decidedly graphic in an unneeded way, focused more on the insane violence of the bear more than any of the story. So I've got a couple of
Was
highs.
that produced by Reese Witherspoon? Why am I getting?
I hope not.
I don't think
so. The 2020 film Monster Hunter, 0.5 star, relies on epic shots and visuals far more than story development. And what little story there is, well, that's just there to set up drama rather than story. Don't waste your time. And then there's a movie that I did not finish, which I was really gutted about. But I'm like, I have to stop watching this. Now, where is it? It also is my 0.5 star rating. It's a Paul Rudd. I Love You, Man. Paul Rudd movie. Absolutely awful. I couldn't finish this movie. Paul Rudd spends most of the half I watched trying to invent words for his character, and the rest of the story is totally bizarre. The other guy was just... I've put a reference, but I meant irrelevant.
The other guy is Jason Segel, isn't it?
Yes, there we go.
Don't you dare call him the other guy. I love
Well, I
Jason
can remember his
Segel.
name at the time. This is a movie that I gave 0.5 star to, okay? So I can't remember the last time I couldn't finish watching a movie, so I definitely recommend not wasting your time here. But then I gave 5-star things to the random shit, like I gave 5 stars to Young Woman at the Sea, which is Daisy Ridley.
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah.
Right?
Where she
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
She
She's
plays
a swimmer
Trudy, she's a
Elizabeth
swimmer.
Banks
over
was
the-
Cocaine
the-
Bear.
the
That's
channel.
what I'm thinking of.
Anyway,
It's
so
Elizabeth Banks, 'cause she
but
was
yes,
the director.
I'm definitely someone who like looks on the nicer side of things. So I think it means when I hate something, I really do just. It must be bad if Rob hates it. It's kind of my vibe, I suppose. Maybe that should be the name of my account. It must be bad if I don't like it, you know. So, but yeah, I'm hopeful that the Mistborn does well. I'm holding judgment on the Stormlight. I'll talk about them when they happen, obviously, but yeah, I saw a ridiculous comment from someone the other day where it was like, and now Henry Cavill is punching a wall because he signed up to do this other show and can't be Kaladin in Stormlight. And then
Well,
it's
he
like,
wanted to be Kaladin, but Brandon Sanderson said he was too old to be Kaladin. Because Kaladin's like 19 or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it does well. Like, well enough that people don't... Because I feel like we're getting to the end of the fantasy bubble. Television, movies, like the comic book movies are I think Doomsday is probably the end of the Marvel. Like, I think Doomsday has given it some resurgence for superhero movies. But I think Doomsday is Marvel's last hurrah. I'm not saying Marvel's going to crash out as a company afterwards, but I think it's just, you know, the fantasy and the superhero bubbles are coming to an end in terms of what the general public wants, I think.
See, it's interesting though. I disagree. I had this conversation last night.
Okay.
So after Lord of the Rings came out, like back in the early 2000s when like Lord of the Rings was ginormous, the movies, David and I were working on some fantasy stuff and we were like, great, fantasy's finally getting its day. And then it very quickly was like, fantasy will never achieve the level of Lord of the Rings, and so pretty much it's dead. No one's going to do it. And then Game of Thrones came out years later and became like, oh, wait, we can do it in television. And in some ways, Game of Thrones is the beginning of premium TV. But
I would agree with that.
And
yeah,
now
definitely.
we have... Yeah, and now we have like, I don't know how many people are watching Knights of the Seven Kingdoms. Like, I'm not sure how well it's doing. But what's interesting is the reason I don't think so is I think you are right potentially with like, I'm sorry, I'm using a dongle to like describe how I feel.
You're fine.
You're watching. It's very distracting. But I'm very adamant about this. I think that high fantasy as we know it, very expensive, high budget, Lord of the Rings style. Oh, good. I'm glad LBF says Night of the Seven Kingdoms is good. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak to it too. But I'm glad to know you're enjoying it. But I think that high expensive fantasy for television is like just they're finding out it's hard to do and expensive to do and takes a long time to do and blah blah blah. There's a lot of reasons that make it difficult. So I think you're not wrong that like the way we've been seeing it, Wheel of Time included, may not be continuing. I think the level of interest in D&D, the phenomenon of D&D that has been an obviously decades-long phenomenon, but in a very small niche that is now like suddenly people are like,
now
what?
It's cool.
What is this thing? Now it's cool.
Yeah.
Do we think it's because of Stranger Things?
I think for younger people, Stranger Things, but for people at large, I just think the demographic that played it when it started are now old enough to be like, it's what we want to see and it's cool.
And I will point to Critical Role. I mean, like Critical Role is like a huge. Yeah, they have their own fucking studio now, and I know some of the people from Critical Role. Like it's amazing, and I'm so thankful to them. I think we're just going to see fantasy done in a different way. I think we're going to see more fun fantasy. I think we're going to see more cozy book fantasy, like Legends and Lattes. I think we're going to. I don't think fantasy's going anywhere.
Fourth Wing has been picked up by Prime as well. Right?
So I wasn't meaning like that's it. Fantasy's never getting made again. I just meant like
because I think it's just accessible fantasy.
Yeah, the big dramatic stuff. Studios are going to stop chasing Harry Potter's, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings. Like they're going to stop chasing the big stuff and be like, people will still make fantasy and it will still be on television, on cinema screens and things like that. But it's not going to be, find me the next Game of Thrones. It's going to be find me the next, what's the one with the kid?
Percy Jackson.
No, sorry. This is like a dramatic thing. He's a kid in trauma in therapy. Adolescence. Is it Adolescence?
Maybe.
It was like a number one television show last year. It was like all done in one shot. It was the kids. Help me out. LBF's good at this stuff, surely. Come on, someone help me out. Is it Adolescence?
And I'm also embarrassed.
A kid in therapy.
Oh school.
Yes, Adolescence.
Yeah.
It's a TV show.
That
Adolescence.
is right.
He's
and I missed it completely.
So the concept is
Yeah.
a family's world turns upside down when a 13-year-old Jamie Miller is arrested for murdering a schoolmate. The charges against their son force them to confront every parent's worst nightmare. And it's done in one shot. It's a TV series. It was done on, was it on Apple? I think it was on Apple. No, it wasn't on Apple. It was on something else. Anyway, like each episode was done as a one shot, and which is obviously wild, for an entire episode of television doing one shot. But it was just like absolutely, it was insane. It was like got like 97% rated on Rotten Tomatoes. So it was huge. So people will be chasing other things like that. I think
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not saying fantasy won't get made, and I don't know. I think Marvel, realized that they fucking crashed after Infinity War and Endgame.
I binged the first 4 episodes of Wonder Man last night, though.
Oh, was that?
And I'm enjoying the shit out of it.
Wonder Man? Who's that? I've seen that advertised. I forget who's in that now.
Ben Kingsley.
Ben Kingsley.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. It was on Netflix. Thank you.
Netflix.
Thank you,
Mom says Adolescent was on Netflix.
Thank you, Mom. Yes, it was Netflix.
Yes.
So yeah, I think they realised that they tanked after because they just diversed too much into this. Everyone had to watch television to understand.
Well, and it didn't help that the guy who was playing Kang, right? Kang.
Oh yeah, it turned out to be
sexual abuse allegations and things. And
Yep. And Dungeon Crawler Carl. I mean, that's what I've been actually looking like as well. Like I'm like, that I haven't started reading it yet, but I've been wanting to. And I think again, like it's really Yeah.
But yeah, I dragging
it sounds
back.
like choose your own adventure books back in the day.
Oh my god,
exactly.
Those are terrible.
Exactly.
I was ended in the same thing, dying.
Oh,
yeah. But like they've dragged back RDJ for Marvel and that, and bring everyone else in for whatever it is, Doomsday. Yeah, and I think that'll be their last big arc, and I think they'll still make movies, but it will never be what it was. It'll be a little, and people want other things these days, and it's too expensive to make the high fantasy, I should say. All right, I think it's a good time to wrap up. We've been here, we've been recording for an hour and a half. Did not do any of the writing today, but that's fine.
No, we did not. We had a lot to talk about.
We're organic. We just do what comes naturally.
And we don't want every episode to be like, so we'll just carry on and write, 10 more tent poles today and such. Like, we like change that up. So,
like mixing it up, keeping you on your toes.
Exactly. You never know what you're going to get. So, Meg's the third wheel today because she likes Stormlight?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or am I the third wheel because I've never read a word of Brandon Sanderson outside of Wheel of Time?
Sure,
actually, there we go.
Too,
Jen can be the third wheel. So, yeah, that fits. I like that. So, that's our third wheel today, folks, because we don't always remember to point that out. So, and what a positivity I wrote in here. Oh, here we go.
Didn't you have one?
I did. I was scrolling back in our chat to find where I put it in, so I didn't forget it. So, last week on the 22nd, I was. Is that last week? More than last week and a half ago. Doesn't matter. I was waiting for my appointment because I have long-term issue with my ankle, and so I'm seeing orthopedic surgeon and stuff like that, getting all the things I need to do. And I was sat in the room waiting to meet him. And this is even nicer now because it turned out that they booked me into a day that the specialist wasn't to be there. And for me to take the next step in the process, I have to see the specialist so he can properly inform me of all the problem or the potential outcomes and risks and all those sorts of things before we take any next step. So it was actually like a pointless appointment because he wasn't there. They booked me in to see his fill-in guy. So it's even nicer that this happened while I was sat there. A nurse brings in a random woman, and they go behind the reception desk area, which is, behind glass. It's this own room thing, and everyone's chatting away. So clearly, everyone knows everybody. She's an off-duty team member type thing, and she's sharing the news that she's pregnant with a little girl, and everyone's like, everyone's ecstatic and really happy about that, and that's obviously very sweet. Having a baby's lovely. I assume I've never had one, but I hear most people like it. So having a kid. But the really cute bit that made it really positive for me was after they left the reception area, they literally went round the rest of the sort of spaces in the rooms to catch all the other nursing team as they came in and out of rooms and in between appointments and stuff like that, so they could share it with everybody. And not a single person was like, oh, cool, that everyone was like, there was squeals, there was hugs, there was laughter, it was just so joyous to see everyone in the entire team so happy for this one person. And then when they left, she was like, right, I'm going to go take her to the other department now. And they were clearly off to go tell other friends that they work with. And it was just really nice to see such a close-knit team so happy for someone in their group. And it was just really, really sweet, because not all teams bond like that. So
No.
yeah, if someone came into my workplace
really
and said
special.
like, I'm pregnant, we'd all be like, oh, that's really nice, and that was it. Like, they probably wouldn't get many hugs.
And you'd be like, how are we going to cover your shift?
I figured I'd have a few months notice, and it's also, I'm just a cog in the machine, not my job to replace them. So yeah, but yeah, it was just really, really super sweet, and I thought that was, really nice, especially then, because 20 minutes later I found out I'd traveled an hour and a half to the hospital to be turned away within 2 minutes because there was no one there to do what I needed done. So it was an extra positive thing. Hey, that's just how it goes. It's fine. So
Yeah.
I had a very, very positive appointment the next week, so earlier this week, with the person who actually is going to fit me for orthopedic inserts and, to go with shoes and things. And the specialist sent me to them thinking they probably can't correct the bad walk you developed because of your ankle issue, but they can give you orthopedics that will support it and thus lessen the pain a bit. And I went to see them, and they were like, I'm pretty sure we can fix and correct your walking issue so you walk properly again.
Great.
And I was like, yes.
Great.
So, swings and roundabouts.
That's awesome.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
I think that's about it, unless I've missed anything.
Nope.
No?
No.
All right. We'll be back in 2 weeks, folks. As always, if you want to be like Knuckles, Light Blind the Fool, Mom, and Laura, and others that come in and out, you can come and listen to us live as we record here on Riverside by going to patreon.com/MalkieriTalks and joining. It's just £1 a month, and you can come and listen to us every 2 weeks as we record and gas bag, and you get to see us as well.
And you get to hear the inappropriate things I say that are going to get cut out of the podcast.
Yeah, you
everybody
might
else
need to
gets
remind
listen
Rob a couple times before the edit to remind him to take it
I'll
out.
make sure that gets
It's
cut out.
removed.
Ow.
It sounds like I am a terrible person.
If Jen's not back on the next recording, you know that Rob got fired. And Meg will turn up by herself and be like, it's just me now. So, but thank you for listening wherever you are. Please like and subscribe to the podcast on your app, platform, web browser, YouTube, wherever it is. Go and hit those 5 stars, put a comment in, rate and review, all those wonderful things. And follow us on social media. You can find us on Blue Sky, which is threewheeling.malkiertalks.com, and you can find us on Instagram, which is 3.wheeling. And our individual accounts are listed in the show notes. And that's it. Look at me getting it all right this week. It's almost like I practiced.
Nice.
I did not
Really
practice.
nice.
But
Seems like you did.
No, I just thought about it earlier today, being like, I need to remember all these things and say them right at the end of the show, because I usually fuck it up and sound very unprofessional. But that's it, folks. So thank you so much, and we will see you next time. Bye!
Bye. Once again, we've proven that even when you're the third wheel,
You can always find a place to fit in.
Join us next time
On Three Wheeling.
on Three Wheeling.
on Free Wheeling.